He's having a hard time with the methods. Something that I'm used to is with each person who's going to be first initiated, someone says something about them. Is that you? But you coordinate. Okay. Just before the names. You have after the talk and then one by one by one. They take their bows. As they're taking their bows, someone's saying something. Yeah. All right. Those of you that are familiar, you'll know the procedure. We're going to chant Sri Brahma Samhita together. And if you're not familiar, these are prayers. I'll explain the prayers at the end, but they're prayers by Lord Brahma, glorifying Govinda. There's Govinda prayers. So take your sheet, and I chant swiftly, so you keep my pace. And I've got the microphone. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Chintamani Prakada Sadma Sukalpa Briksha Laksha Vritesa Surabira Bipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kanvantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam Samasitam Badusundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam Alo the Chandrakada Sadvana Malya Vankshi Ratnanganam Pranaya Kedikilavilasam Shamam Tribangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Pante Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sat Ujvala Vigrahasya Govind Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Puranam Purusham Navayovanam Sha Vedesha Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktao Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantashta Koti Saravatsara Sampragamyo Vayoratapi Manasomuni Pungavanam Sopyasti Yad Prapanasinya Vachincha Tattve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopya Saurachayatam Jagadanda Kotim Jachchaktirasti Jagadanda Chayayadantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhava Tadun Yomanajasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasha Nayana Bhushaha Suktaidayameva Nikva Pratavaistavanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabirya Eva Nitarupataya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Navisatya Kilatma Bhoto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santaksa Deva Hridayesha Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achinchagana Sarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtushkalani Amena Tishtan Nana Avatara Makarod Bhuvaneshu Kinto Krishnak Swayam Pab Samabak Paramak Pamanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Kotishvashesha Vasudhadi Vibhuti Binnam Tad Brahma Niskalamanantamashesha Bocham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Maya Hiyasya Jagadanda Shatani Sute Trigunya Tadvataya Shreda Vitayamana Sattva Valambi Parasatvam Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ananda Chinmaya Rasapra Nirabhataksu Yat Praninam Panipadam Smarutama Lilayatena Bhavanani Jagatya Jasram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Golokanamni Litadamni Tale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridamasu Teshu Teshu Te Prabhava Niyam Vitaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shristi Stati Pralaya Sadhana Shaktireka Chaye Vayasya Bhavanani Vibharati Durga Ichchandurupam Apayasya Tate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shiram Yadhati Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Pratagasti Hetaho Yatsham Utam Isi Tatasam Upayati Karyad Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yes. Adara Shaktim Avalamya Param Svamurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasyaika Nishvatatakana Valambya Jivanti Loma Vidaja Jagadandanataha Vishnur Mahansi Yasya Kalabhishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Basvanya Tankshma Sakaleshun Jesha Teja Swayam Yat Prakadiyat Tadvitadvadatra Brahmaya Esha Jagadanda Vedana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yat Pala Pallavayagam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Saganadi Rajaha Vighan Verhantam Ala Asya Jagatayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Agnir Mahiguru Ambarudishascha Kalas Tatsak Madasita Jagatrayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yangcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yachchaksha Esa Savata Sakila Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramut Shesha Tejaha Yasyagya Yabramatik Sambritakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Dharmo Tapapa Nichaya Shutayasta Pangsi Brahmadi Kete Patagavadayascha Jivaha Yadatrama Vikata Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yastvindra Gopam Atavendra Mahosva Karma Bandharupa Padabhajanam Atanoti Karmani Nirda Hitakintu Chabakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yam Kroda Kama Samaja Praniyadi Biti Vatsalya Moha Gura Gaurava Sevya Bhavai Sanchintya Tasha Shadashim Tanam Aparete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpa Taravo Drama Bhumis Chintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Tanat Gatnam Natyam Ganapam Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Param Aptitat Asvajam Apicha Sa yat praksharabi shavati sarai brabhya sumahan Yamedyad yakyo vabrajati yatrapi samaye Braje shveta dvipam tamaham iha golokam ityam Vidantaste shanta chada chityam chada Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Karva Karana Karanam. The sound vibration of Sri Brahma Samhita is purifying. Whether one understands the meaning or doesn't understand the meaning, the sound vibration is a transcendental sound. And it arose from Lord Brahma at the very, very, very beginning of creation. Before there was creation, Brahma was engaged for 1,000 celestial years in tapa. And his tapa was chanting of two mantras, one mantra that he received from the original spiritual form of the goddess Saraswati, and another that he received from Krishna's flute. And he chanted those mantras very diligently, and according to the translation of Sri Brahma Samhita, simply as a result of mantra meditation or mantra chanting, he became well acquainted with the ocean of truth. In language of Bhaktisiddhanta, he became well acquainted with the ocean of truth. And the result of the ocean of truth was these prayers. And the topics of these prayers, of course, the refrain is Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. But it's many of the aspects of Govinda in relation to the spiritual realm and the material realm. So he is describing all of these things in these prayers. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Similarly, we're in the Sampradaya of Lord Brahma. So the truths revealed by Lord Brahma and all the rest of the Vedas, because the whole of the Vedas became manifest within the heart of Brahma. Pretty amazing. The ocean of truth, which is the entirety of the Vedas, became manifest in his heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikaviye Muyanti Atsurayaha. And so he knows the Vedas, and he transmitted those Vedas, the totality of the Vedic knowledge, to Narada Muni, his direct expansion from his body. And then Narada to Vyas, and Vyas to Madhvacharya and our disciplic line. So we're on the receiving end. At the same time, we have the means to become well acquainted with the ocean of truth by the same method, by mantra meditation and hearing the transcendental teachings. Now, the transcendental teachings very generously and kindly and mercifully were provided to us in disciplic succession through our founder Acharya. And it's such a great gift to receive from our founder Acharya a transparent representation of that original truth that came from the personality of Godhead to Lord Brahma, from Lord Brahma to Narada, etc. That is to say, there are many renderings. Just take Bhagavad Gita. How many different versions of Bhagavad Gita are there? Too many. probably a number of us in this room, before we came across Bhagavad Gita as it is, we became a little bit familiar with Bhagavad Gita as it isn't. Or not by that title, but calling it Bhagavad Gita, but not really what Bhagavad Gita is. I'm one. I'll just a little anecdotal. Once upon a time, a few years ago, I was a college kid. And while in college, rather than the details of how it happened, I read 7 translations of Bhagavad Gita before I received Bhagavad Gita as it is. The first one of those was from a philosophy professor, etc., 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 etc. And after reading all 7, I reached a conclusion that I don't understand it. And I didn't know why I didn't understand it, especially when I read version number 8, and it was so easy to understand. And then I was wondering, why is this easy to understand and the others I couldn't understand? But I kept reading it because I liked it. And in the course of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, it became very clear. Bhagavad Gita is meant to be understood in this descending fashion. Exactly what it says in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. And one who has that good fortune of receiving the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, or teaching of what's beyond the mind and the senses and our material faculties, that which lies beyond, we can't know unless it's disclosed to us by that very simple method, disciplic succession. And when we're fortunate, like most fortunate, to have the very generous gift, not only disciplic succession, generous gift, but the enthusiasm that Srila Prabhupada invested in his followers to assist him in the mission of bringing transcendental knowledge into the life of others. Now, it wasn't like a conquest like the Crusades or something like that. It wasn't a military. It was a spiritual desire on the part of our founder Acharya to make people happy, or to revive them, have them remember once again the intrinsic happiness that's already there, but forgotten. And the intrinsic happiness is the happiness of the soul and the soul's connection with the Supreme, which is, a basic understanding of Bhagavad Gita, but covered over. For example, one of the translations of Bhagavad Gita that I read, was an undergraduate student in college. The celebrated 1866 Bhagavad Gita verse. Sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishami ma. It's very straightforward. Very straightforward. And one of the commentaries gave a commentary, or translations gave a commentary. It's not unto Krishna. Krishna says, surrender to me. Commentary. It's not unto Krishna. It's unto the unborn, unmanifest within Krishna. Do that again, please. Don't surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, surrender to me. Don't surrender to Krishna. Surrender to something else. What's that something else? The unborn, unmanifest within Krishna. As if there's a difference between Krishna's form and something else, and the absolute truth. It's called, in blunt language, it's cheating. Call a spade a spade. Cheating. And, popular. Because Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, is quoted as saying this world is a place of the cheaters and the cheated. And why is it that people become cheated? Because they want to be cheated. Or to say it the other way, they don't want the real thing. But to get the real thing, that's special. And how does it come? Through disciplic succession, through the mouth of one who has received it in disciplic succession, and then is up the line from the original source of everything, Krishna himself. So here we are for this process of Diksha. It marks in a very official way the connection between the living entity and Krishna. So is the living entity eternally connected with Krishna? Yes. But the living entity that's eternally connected with Krishna is forgetful of that connection. And so the process of reviving or reawakening that connection is the process of sadhana bhakti. And sadhana bhakti, done properly, leads to two things: removal of the forgetfulness and the reawakening of remembrance of who we really are, and moreover, our relationship with the source from whence we have come. There are the initiation lectures that I attended that Prabhupada spoke at, or the recorded lectures of Prabhupada speaking at initiation. He emphasized always, without exception, two particular verses. So I like to recite those particular verses following Srila Prabhupada. Yata kanchinatam yati kamsyam rasa vidanatah tata diksha vidanena dvijatam jayate nranam. It's a nice verse. Dvija, there's ja, and then there's dvija. There's birth and there's second birth. So first birth, mother and father, without exception. Bodies are born from mother and father. And then there's a second birth that's from the spiritual master. Dvijatvam jayate nranam. Amongst human society, there's this very special good fortune that comes to such persons who take shelter of a spiritual master in the form of diksha. This verse is a definition of diksha vidhanena. There's there's vidhis, there's procedures. So we'll go downstairs and do the procedures because we don't have fires here in the temple room for probably a good reason. So by following those procedures, that is, there's external and there's internal. And of the two, the internal is most important, because the external, there are mantras, and there's fire, and there's ghee, and there's swaha, there's procedures that are followed, vidhis. And then the essence of diksha is not just the details. The essence is the submission. The submission or taking shelter of the personality of Godhead. And in that submission, there's two things. There's the person who is submitting, and then the person who's accepting the submission. It's a relationship. So the devotees here are going to be receiving formal initiation. That's the procedure this evening. And their submission. And the submission is unto Krishna. And the acceptance is by Krishna. And it's formalizing. It's like, you can be enrolled as a student, and you have a teacher, professor, and this and that and the other and the other. But the professor doesn't give the degree. The university gives the degree. And you have to meet the standards of the university, and you may get your degree from the university, a graduate from such and such university. There are the persons that helped you along the way, for sure. But, it's the university. So the submission, similarly, Prabhupada's language is the submission goes to the current link, as in the chain of disciplic succession. There's links in a chain. And there's the current link, and submission goes there to the current link. But the current link is linked to a prior link, and to a prior link, and a prior link. The chain goes to Krishna. So the submission to current link goes to Krishna, because the current link, proper current link, is transparent. It goes to Krishna. Something that is given to the representative of Krishna goes to Krishna. It's very simple. Here's a very simple example to just be very clear. Supposing somebody's an ambassador from this country and they're going to visit that country. And when in that country they want to honor the country, so they give some gifts to the ambassador. When the ambassador goes home, those gifts don't belong to him. The gifts belong to the country. Whatever it is that was given, it's not his. If he pockets it, that's cheating. He'll get penalized by law if he does that. So, submission, yes, to the current link, and at the same time, it's submission to Krishna, because the current link nothing sticks. It goes to Krishna. And then the acceptance is from Krishna's side. And therefore, in the process of Diksha, there's a nice description of this in the Vedas. And one of the things, two of the things we did already. And one of those things we did is neck beads. The reason for changing the neck beads is it's Vedic. At the time of Diksha, Guru gives neck beads. Here's a detail. In ISKCON, we have neck beads in our gift shop. Anybody can get neck beads. You don't even have to go to the gift shop. Devotees, anyway, devotees have them, and devotees can give you, here's some neck beads. Thank you very much. So, Kuntimala, Urdhvam Pundra, Tilak. Traditionally, before Diksha, the devotee, the not initiated devotee, isn't wearing tilak, and then eventually they wear tilak. When at the time of initiation, Guru anoints them, their forehead, with tilak. 2 things. 3 things. A name is given. So we'll shortly give names. And a 4th item is tapa. Now, in some traditions, like in Sri Vaishnava tradition, men are given diksha, and at the same time there's a hot metal brand that on one shoulder and the other shoulder, symbols of Vishnu, are placed permanently. This body belongs to Vishnu. That's it. It's not just tattoo. It's a permanent mark on the body. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that's not our tradition, the brand, making the metal brand. Men and women may receive Diksha. Rather, for a Gaudiya Vaishnav, that tapa is regret. I've wasted so much time. I've involved myself, who knows how many lifetimes, in so many different ways, in forgetfulness of ignorance. Neglecting my real purpose, my real mission, my real identity, my real self. And it's gone. It's time that was misspent. It's a great misfortune. So tapa, that's a Gaudiya Vaishnava principle. So in our process of initiation, there's also these externals, at the same time, most important is the internal. Because one can go through the externals and it stays external. But if something is internal, it's internal. It doesn't go away. The submission. And it's possible that after passage of time, using Bhaktivinoda Thakur's language, submission can slacken. And if submission slackens, what happens? It's the invitation for Maya to please come in and take over once again. As was going on before, Maya, please come take over again. And she's very willing to do so. So therefore, submission in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is ongoing. Initiation marks a formality, and then for the rest of one's life. That's therefore vows are taken before the deity for the rest of one's life. And vows, we'll just say it very simply, vows are meant to be upheld. Just 2 days ago, I was hearing Srila Prabhupada recorded lecture. Prabhupada was speaking about one of the names of Krishna found in Bhagavad Gita is Achyuta. Now, Achyuta can mean, or direct meaning is, he doesn't fall. There's Chuta, that's us, we're fallen. And Krishna is Achyuta, never fallen. But he explained that meaning, but then he also gave a second meaning. He never fails his vow. Like Sarvadharmam Prajaja Mami Kam Sharanam Braja Aham Tom Sarva Papibhyo Moksha Yashami Ma Shuchaha. It's a vow. And Krishna doesn't break his vow. He's Achyuta. Ajita, never conquered, never breaks his vow. So, infallible. So vows are meant to be like that we make and we maintain. And that's meant explicitly for the rest of one's life. Now, we're very tiny beings by constitution. And that means we can be, if submission slackens, we can be influenced by the movements of the material energy. But even in those cases, it's like water and oil don't mix. You can put oil in water or on water and it'll float because they don't mix. You can shake it up and emulsify it. Wait a little while. The oil doesn't mix. Similarly, the soul doesn't mix. So Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobhaya. The effort of submission is never diminished. It can be covered, but never diminished. That is to say, Krishna accepts, and Krishna's exception doesn't waver. Our submission may waver, but Krishna's acceptance doesn't. And he'll be there, always, to help us get back on track if such slackening of submission comes into one's life. But those who stay true to their vows, they have that special mercy of Krishna that comes with taking the vow, and it stays with one for the rest of one's life. I'm going to end, and then we'll go on with the name giving, but I want to say one little thing, additional little thing. One of my godbrothers, Abhiram Prabhu, he lives in India, and Abhiram Prabhu was somehow or another, by Tamal Krishna Maharaj's arrangement, that was the somehow, Tamal Krishna was recommended that Abhiram become Prabhupada's nurse in the final 4 months of his life. What a privilege. And he comments, Prabhupada said to him, 24 times, never leave my side. Because Prabhupada knew he could go at any moment, and he wanted Abhiram's, because he had Abhiram hold his hand, so that if Prabhupada could squeeze his hand if he needed something, because his body, his everything was so weak, he could barely be heard. So Abhiram took rest with his head next to Prabhupada's body, lying on his bed, holding Prabhupada's hand. Pretty intimate. Just this morning, he sent me a little song, a recorded song of a Prabhupada disciple, Mataji. Her name is Mahadevi. It's on YouTube, I think. And it's just, a folk kind of guitar music with some other soft music along with the guitar music. And it's her song of her life with Prabhupada, giving her life to Prabhupada. And it's the very same way that I did, or the large part of what I did. I mean, not all of what I did, but, distributing books. And you remind me, and I'll send you the recording, the YouTube recording, and you can circulate it if you like. And I'm sharing this because I heard it twice, and I cried both times. Because, what she says is so much from the heart of the dedication to Prabhupada. And she felt it in difficulty and hardships, and without going into what she says in the song. It's true. It's true. And I shared it with a devotee that's doing that very same thing today, traveling all over the country, distributing books from a van. And he immediately wrote back and said, I cried like a baby, because it's true. In other words, whatever it was 40 years ago is the same thing today. Those who sacrifice, something goes in. When you undergo that kind of tapa, as mentioned, tapa, with diksha, one of the 5 items is tapa. And so you undergo some sacrifice for our founder Acharya, the person who gave you Krishna consciousness. Someone else may have given you, but that someone else gave you because Prabhupada gave it to them. And when that touches your heart, it doesn't leave. There she is in Vrindavan, writing this song, describing how her present service is dealing with senior citizens that need health care. She has a nice name for it. I forget what you call that. But, that's what she does. And she goes with her friends, and they sit in Prabhupada's quarters every Sunday and read Krishna book and cry. Because they understand what Prabhupada was giving. It's inside. It's not, that's a nice story. Let's hear the next one. Bhakti is something that once it's inside, doesn't go away. Real bhakti doesn't go away. It grows and grows. The process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, so our processes of bhakti nourish that sense of connection. And the main connection I'm emphasizing is our founder Acharya, because he gave us everything. Others are giving us on his behalf. So that's what's happening today also. There's a current link, yes. And submission goes there because that's what Scripture teaches us. So therefore we do. And as the generations pass, my wish is that affection that we have for our present connection with the disciplic succession doesn't lose sight of our founder Acharya. Unbelievably unique personality. And more one understands that fact, that moves the heart. So that's what I want to say for this initiation ceremony. So now comes the fun part. The fun part is our three devotees here are going to take vows before Radha Kalachandji and the other deities on the altar as the witness of their vows. So let's start with Sheetal. We'll go first. You come before Srila Prabhupada, pay obeisances, and right behind you, your wife can go. You want to say something? Go, speak.
So
Okay.
as the initiates are paying obeisances and getting ready to come take their vows, there are some devotees that know the initiates very well and would like to, and this is a typical what we do when Maharaj gives initiations, and I think it's so wonderful. So they'll speak a little bit about the initiates so we all get to know them better. And as we're all aware, this is the most important day in their spiritual life. So I just ask that everybody in the temple room please pray for these wonderful devotees as they're taking this important step, that they can really take these vows seriously and they can take the mood of assisting His Holiness Romapada Maharaj in his service to Srila Prabhupada at the core of their hearts. So first I'd like to ask Shankaranya Prabhu to come up and say a few words. He also has a recording from Devadarshan Prabhu, who's in India but knows the initiates very well.
Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj. Just wanted to share a few words for Sheetal Prabhu and Divya Mataji, both of them. Maharaj, they both got connected to Prabhupada's mercy back in 2012 in Bloomington, Illinois. They started to come to our Bhakti Riksha program. And Maharaj, at that time you were serving as the GBC representative for the Midwest.
Yeah.
And we invited you to come and give us your association, and to our surprise and honor, you gave us 2 days out of your busy schedule, and many devotees there got a chance to hear you and associate with you, and Prabhuji and Mataji both were part of that.
Speak about them, not about me.
And yes, once they got connected, they have been serving Prabhupada's preaching activities very nicely in Bloomington, especially whenever we did any festivals. They would always be there to help us organize the events, sponsoring the program, as well as so many other prasadam services. And in 2015 they moved to Dallas, and within I think a couple of years they started attending Devdarshan Prabhu and Rasrani Mataji's Bhakti Riksha program. So Prabhuji, he's in India right now, but he did send audio recording, so with your permission we would just play that too. So he also wanted to share some words about both of them.
Hare Krishna. My name is Devadarshan Das. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. On behalf of my wife, Rasrani Dasi, and myself, I want to say a few words about Divya Mataji and Sheetal Prabhu as they are ready to receive their Harinam initiation from His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. They both got into Krishna consciousness around 2012, and their few devotees have helped them along the way, especially Shankaranya Prabhu and his wife Devi Radha Mataji have been instrumental in their growth in Krishna consciousness. They started coming to our Bhakti Riksha around 2017-18 time frame. They have steadily taken more and more seva opportunities, both around Bhakti Riksha and serving their Guru Maharaj, as well as saving, as well as taking some save opportunities within the Radha Kalachanji Dham. So Sheetal Prabhu comes with me Saturday afternoons for the Gora Arti Seva, and he does set up the paraphernalia as well as doing other Seva around the time. And then Divya Mataji makes garland for Srila Prabhupada and Tamil Krishna Maharaj, and also helps in cleaning up the Pujari rooms. They both have grown steadily in their seva and in their sadhana in the last few years. And I'm looking forward to seeing them grow furthermore. And as they're ready to receive the first initiations, our prayers are to Sri Sri Radha Kalachanji and to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis there. So please bless them so they continue to progress in their Krishna consciousness and to help serve the community here in Dallas as well as the broader society of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, now you know. And obviously the devotees that have worked closely with them have great appreciation for them. And may you continue nicely in satisfying and serving the devotees. So the vows. Here's the microphone. You speak into the microphone. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day? Minimum?
16 rounds, Maharaj.
Minimum?
Minimum 16 rounds, yes.
You can chant more too. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex.
Very good. And as you've been doing, you'll continue to the best of your ability. Carefully follow Prabhupada's teachings.
Yes, Maharaj.
Very good. Initiated name is Sulakshana Das. Su means very, and Lakshana means qualities. He has very nice qualities. Of course, a Vaishnava has very nice qualities, and Krishna has superlative qualities. So serve Krishna and the Vaishnavas. And we already heard about his good wife. Is there something more? That's it. Is that it? She
Hare
gets
Krishna,
some
Maharaj.
special notice.
No, I have known Divya Mataji for the last probably 12 years, and I still remember the first time she asked for services, and from that time onwards they have been very steadfast in serving. And one thing I would like to mention is, as human beings, if anybody is in any kind of distress or if they need any kind of help, Divya Mataji and Sulakshan Prabhu would be always there, in spite of any personal issues they may be having, they will come forward and help out. So that is something very special about them. So I just wanted to mention that. Apart from that, everybody's already mentioned, they've been steadfast in their services, whatever services, always for cooking, and Divya and again, Sulakshan Prabhu, we do Festival of Joy every year. They have always been steadfast and, supporting in every possible way. So I'm very happy for them, and all the best.
She looks embarrassed. Okay.
Maharaj, can I just say one quick thing about both of them? Quick thing. I just wanted to share, in addition to what everybody else has said, that I really appreciate so much their genuine, humble mood of service. They always have such a genuine humility about them in all of their service, and I pray that it continues to grow, and I think they'll be a wonderful, wonderful disciples with this sincere mood of humility that they both have. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay, your vows. On your
Um,
beads, you'll chant how many rounds minimum every day for the rest of your life?
I vow to chant minimum of 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for rest of my life.
Very good.
And 4 regulative principles which
Yeah.
I will follow for the rest of my life is no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex.
Then the other
And-
one? Follow Prabhupada's teaching. Yeah.
And I will follow Prabhupada's teaching for the rest of my life and serve the community as best my ability.
Let's be careful, as best you can. You're before the deities, remember? Okay. Okay, your initiated name. Dina Sharana Dasi. Means one who gives shelter to those who have fallen. This is your wife's bead. Okay. There's yours. And Niraj, who's going to speak?
Sri Chaitanya Prabhu.
Okay. Give this man a microphone. Where's the microphone? Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I am representing Roop Raghunath Das Prabhu, who was until recently here in Dallas and very close to Neeraj Prabhu while he was here. This is from Roop Raghunath Das Prabhu. Neeraj Prabhu, I am so excited for you and my apologies for not being there in person. I am so happy that my best friend is now also my god brother. Neeraj Prabhu was the first devotee we met when we moved to Dallas. He helped me in so many ways, and it started with him giving us Tulsi Maharani. And that is his nature towards everyone, very caring and compassionate. I am fortunate enough to do some services alongside him. The most memorable was our trip from Dallas to College Station to drop Guru Maharaj. Another one is our morning japa sessions every other Saturday morning that I relished most. For things I really admire Neeraj Prabhu for. It amazes me how he is able to sit straight during entire 16 round chanting. Amazing focus and love for chanting. And I know his secret sauce of getting his motivation and inspiration from Mahatma Prabhu and the Japa affirmations. One, our spiritual discussions and Neeraj Prabhu's love to share his realizations and open his heart for all the topics related to them to Krishna. I love his Srimad Bhagavatam classes during Friday Bhakti Vriksha program. Great communicator with great knowledge of Shastra, especially his ability to memorize and refer verses during the classes. He has inspired many in our group to learn the Bhagavad Gita verses. I wish him the best and may he be always bestowed with the best from Guru Maharaj and Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji.
You want the microphone too? What? What? Yeah, yeah. I don't need to move. He needs to move. Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
By the way, another friend was going to be here, but his father had a health crisis in India, so he couldn't come, but he was planning to come. You know all about it. Okay. So your vows, you'll chant how many rounds on your beads every day? Minimum?
Minimum of 16 rounds.
And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit
Okay.
sex.
And like the others, and as you've been doing, you continue as best you can to carefully follow Prabhupada's teachings the rest of your life.
Yes, Maharaj.
Very good. Your initiated name is Nanda Tanuja Das. That's the name of Krishna. The son of Nanda Maharaj is Nanda Tanuja Krishna. So now we're going to do what? We're going to go downstairs? What's the plan? Give him the microphone. No. Just go to, yes.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Romapada Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now at this point, we will all go downstairs for the fire sacrifice portion of the ceremony. And after the fire sacrifice is completed, we can all come back into the temple room and do kirtan in front of Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji. And again, I just ask everybody, please shower your blessings, pray for these initiates on this very important day, that they can hold strong to these vows they've taken, that their love for Krishna and the holy name and their service attitude can only grow and mature, that they continue under the shelter of His Holiness Romapada Maharaj and service to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all so much. We'll all stand up now to go downstairs. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Romapada Maharaj ki jai. Nitai go Premanande.